Hey, what's going on, all you beautiful people? It's a repair fabrication project here now. As you guys kind of seen a few weeks ago, the old Hellcat, we were out wheeling with the boys there, and I only had two-wheel drive, and ended up taking the transmission out of it, or at least I'm assuming that's what happened. So what I'm gonna do here today, or with the next couple weeks, I still got old Mainville's safety plaid on the back, but I'm gonna get the motor pulled out of it. I'm gonna get the rear diff out of it. I'm gonna get all the driveline and everything taken out of the machine because I've got something planned. It's never been done, so I'm gonna be the first that I know of anyway that's doing something like this, a swap like this. As you know, or most people do know, the Wildcat driveline is basically made out of tempered glass with a freaking chip in it. It's just a matter of time before it lets go on you. Even though I've done the portals and all that kind of stuff, it just still doesn't want to hold up. So I'm going to do something that's going to retain the factory H2 engine because I've got some money tied into this guy here. But it's going to basically, or hopefully, make it bulletproof. The diffs in these things are weak. The bevel gears are weak. The drive shaft, the axles are weak. So what I've got going on here is I'm going to remove the rear diff, remove the engine, check the bevel gears, and just kind of planning it out in my head. I'm actually going to cut the back end of the machine off. And all this is going to get slid back. We're going to extend it about 24 inches. So the rear arms, trailing arms, all that kind of stuff, I've got to have to cut and extend to make longer, give the machine a bit longer wheelbase. But then what the plan is, I'm actually going to be putting a 242 transfer case into the back of the machine, which is going to essentially act as a doubler on this rig. So it's going to have two transfer cases because the motor itself does have a built-in one. So I'll be able to have high, low, low, high, and then low reverse, which is going to be pretty sweet. Once the doubler and everything's in there, it's going to have a wicked amount of torque. So those factory rear differentials, the rear diff and the front diff, there's no way that they're going to hold up. So I don't have them here yet, but I'm actually going to be putting a Ford 8.8 rear differential in this machine, and then an 8.8 up front. So that should make this thing absolutely freaking bulletproof, I hope. There's not much left a guy can do after that, really. So here we go. We got the entire suspension off the rear removed. Now it's just a matter of popping that guy, pop the rear diff out, have a peek, and see, maybe we got lucky that it was the rear diff that was just getting chewed up on the ride out, but I highly doubt it. So anyway, I'm gonna pop a couple bolts out, get that rear diff pulled out, and then we'll throw it up on the table, pull it apart quick, and see what it looks like inside. So if you're ever doing the rear differential on these cats, take out this T40 Torx head bolt here that allows you to slide it back into this housing, which gives you enough space to get your front drive coupler off, and then you can pop her out. Well, got all the bolts out, T45s, T30s, and just tapping it up, and son of a bitch, diff broke. So I guess we'll see if I got lucky, but I don't think I did. No way! Well, I'll be. Honestly, if this is the issue, that's best worst case scenario. I don't know. I could start the machine, put it in drive since there is no four-wheel drive working, and see if it turns. But right there, boys, as terrible as that sounds, is kind of what I wanted to see. Huh. Well, let's see if this motor's good. Alrighty, so I've got the old forward, running old booster cables on this thing. Just because of the fact it's been sitting for a while and it's dead. Gonna get that into neutral. Start it. And we'll get it put into gear here. And hopefully we don't hear any crunchy. Hey, I dropped you. But look at this, boys. I am so fucking happy. Oh man, that is the best worst case scenario we can have. So I don't have to pull this motor out now. I don't have to do bevel gears. I don't have to do any of that crap, which is freaking great. I'm super happy. Man, just saved myself a lot of work. Well, that was some good news. I'm happy with that. I'm still gonna be taking all this junk off here though, to access the top of the motor. I'm still gonna strip everything off, still strip everything out. I don't know if I'm gonna pull the motor. I'd like to do head studs. I've just got the factory head bolts, I guess, that are in it, but I'd like to put head studs in it just because they're shit and I don't trust them. I'd rather have something cranked down to like 50 or 60, maybe even 100 foot-pounds than the 30 that those guys are, or 35. So just because of the fact that I am running more boost, but I'm gonna get all this stuff taken off here so I can access the top of the motor, so then I've got more space. Then I'm gonna pull the stator cover off the engine and inspect those bevel gears. Even though it looks like it's doing good there might be some damage, so I just want to verify that and go from there. So here we go. What's happening? So I've got what's going on right here is the very first prop shaft for the Hellcat in order for it to run dual cases. So kind of what I've got going on, this has just been base cut here yet. I've got to get that all leveled out and whatnot. And then I've got the prop shaft just sitting there yet. So what I've done is I've taken the OE cat prop shaft that was broken. If I can find my piece. So this is the factory prop shaft. These things are prone when they are turned down. This is an exceptionally weak area right here. So I cut it off right to the base of the splines, and then I've hollowed it out, and then I've got my prop shaft for the 242 that I've got to just get sitting in there proper yet. But then that's going to get slipped into this prop shaft here, and then it's going to get welded all the way around. This is all this stuff obviously up here is going to get cleaned up and leveled. And then I'll send it to the machine shop and have them fill basically right to those splines with weld. I'll get them to weld it, and then I'll get the prop shaft balanced. I'll get them to stick it on the lathe and have it balanced so it's good. There'll be no vibrations or nothing like that, but one of one, it's come together. Hopefully get the T-case in it tonight. I'm just at work, just finished up for the day. So gonna try and get a little bit stuff done. Family's at the lake, and see if we can't get this machine on the trail again this year. So I've got the new to me, one of one at this point. I just got it tacked in a couple spots, the prop shaft for the rear transfer case, and I'm taking all my jazz off here. I got the fuel tank out, I've got the support for the tank out, got access to the rear output on the Wildcat. So that there is going to be the new prop shaft, and I've somehow got to get this big old bastard in here. So the plan is here now. I'm going to cut the back of the machine off right there and right there. So then my line of thought for that is, like, I'm going to have to modify all this later, but this is the proper geometry setup for the suspension. I don't want to mess with it. It works. I'm going to have to change some shit. but once I get the diffs in there. But right now, so that's the new shaft. She looks a lot more beefy than the, or we got a wrecked one here somewhere. So yeah, she looks a tad more stout than the OE one. You can see it's, that output is like twice the size. Anyway, so I've got to get that into the back of the machine. This works just freaking mint. And then that's in low. So I did notice, because I haven't done any measuring or nothing, I did notice that the stator cover I think is going to be in the way. So my quick fix for that, I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to lift the motor up an inch. I've got enough space between all my intercoolers and rads and all that kind of shit. So I'll lift everything up on the front an inch. I'll leave it on the back, and then I might just have to dish the bottom of the back of the machine out a little bit just to accommodate for the new angle, I suppose it is. Because the drive shaft going off the T-case, when it goes forward, it looks like it's going to hit that stator cover. So that might be something I have to do. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I'm just spitballing here, guys. That's all I'm doing. So anyway, what we're going to do here now is we're going to cut the back of this guy off. And we're going to get that freaking transfer case in there. And we're going to get it turning tonight. We're getting a little serious here now. Yeah. Back of the machine is out. 242 is there. Prop shaft or drive shaft out. Actually looks like it might clear. It's not that bad. But yeah, we got her mocked in. I turned it over. I don't have the fuel tank or nothing in it, but I was just hand turning it. Let's see. Oh, boys. World's first dual case Wildcat. Well, piston broke, baby. Here's the next one.